Hey my lovely YouTubers, welcome back to my YouTube channel with me, your girl Morgan Tracy J. I'm just coming today with a quick sit down chit chat with you guys because I want to give you some updates. I want to ask you some questions, but I also want to tell you some stuff about me and what's currently going on, and just wanted to have I just wanted to have a real chit chat with you guys, okay? So anyways, you guys, if you have not already, go follow me on Instagram, okay? I had a goal of this year hitting 50K on Instagram, and honestly, I lighted up a little bit. Like I was a little, we're gonna get into all that. But right now, I just started to grow again a little bit. So we're at 39K. So I'm like, all right, maybe we gonna hit 40K by the end of the year, Lord, okay? I'm just grateful to be close, okay? So if you haven't already, go follow me on Instagram. And also what I'm drinking right now is some ginger root tea, okay? You guys have seen this in probably my last few vlogs where I've talked about ginger root is really good for you and all of that. I'm currently getting over COVID still. And so ginger root has been what I've been drinking since I've had COVID. And honestly, guys, there's so many great benefits to ginger root tea, okay? I'm gonna just read you a few. This is so good if you are motion sickness, you have stomach discomfort, it reduces inflammation, it's good for asthma, blood circulation, menstrual discomfort, immunity, it relieves stress, it's good for fertility. Also, if you have a cough, a cold, it's good for cancer, Alzheimer's disease, and it's also good for weight loss, okay? Also, y'all, it helps, it's good for colds, like get up that mucus and stuff, but also it helps get rid of dandruff. I'm like, what? Little ginger root tea does all of that? So anyways, if you don't know, girl, and if you're somebody who is looking for something to sip on in the morning or in the middle of your day or in your evening and you want it to feel good for your body, try the ginger root tea. All you got to do is buy a ginger root, cut it up sometimes, put it in your little tea kettle, and heat it up off and on when you feel like drinking it, and you're good to go. And it's actually pretty yummy. I even do a spoonful of honey in mine just to give it a little more sweetness, but it's really good. And I will say, the first few times you drink it, it might feel a little spicy to you, like it's got a little spice to it, but after that, it feels really good on the stomach, it feels good on your throat. And I will say this, and this might be a little too much information, but I obviously have COVID, but I was trying to cough up. I wasn't getting nothing up, as in mucus and stuff. 2 cups of this, it was coming up in chunks. It was disgusting, but it was coming up, okay? And you don't want that mucus in your body, especially with COVID. Anyways, too much information. But let's get into this chit chat. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about today is 2024 is coming up really, really soon. And I have been thinking of some new ventures to go on in 2024. As in going into fashion a little more and stuff like that. But there's something specifically that I really think I want to do in 2024. And you guys, I need your help, okay? In 2024, I think I would love to launch a solo podcast. I actually was thinking of doing it with somebody, but I think that might be a lot of work on me and the other individuals. Sometimes we might not live close together. It might be a lot of work. And so I'm like, I may consider doing a solo podcast, but I need names. Like, I don't have any names. I had the word like fearless, but there's a lot of fearless podcasts out there. So I don't know how to turn it into something that's not too long, but something Morgan Tracy J. Like, you know what I mean? I even considered like morning coffee with Morgan Tracy J or something, but like I want to do my own podcast in 2024. I think that would be just a new fun adventure for me, something to do differently. And a podcast is literally sitting here with a microphone, but talking for quite a while, right? On different topics and subjects or whatever. And so I don't know, something about that is interesting to me. And I would love to do the video form of it and the audio form. And actually I was on Miss Daph's podcast earlier this year. And I told her like, ooh, this is so cool. Like I should do one day. And she's like, all you need to do is take the audio from some of your messages on YouTube, make those be like your first 10 episodes on your podcast. And then, you know, bam, you can get yourself in there, or you can use those in between to kind of keep up a regular schedule. And so I was like, hey, that's actually kind of smart. So yeah, I'm really thinking into a podcast, but I think I need more of a consistent team around me a little more. And I need to hire someone in-house as well at the office. And not just, I have like a virtual assistant and a virtual help, but I need like someone in-house to kind of would help with all that as well. But we'll see. So, but I will say, I want you to comment down below any names you think of that you could think of for my podcast, because there's a lot of creative names out there. But the only one I'm coming up with is Morning Coffee with Morgan Tracy J. or like Fearless with Morgan Tracy J, or something like that. But like, I don't know yet. Let's see what all our great minds can come up with, okay? So that's a venture I really would love to do in 2024. I would love to have a podcast. I would. I don't know why, but I would love to. Also, let's talk about this, okay? 2024, I am, not just I would love, but I am getting back into grad school. I don't know if you guys knew this, but at the beginning of 2023, doing the office build out and everything, I said I was taking the semester off because my office wasn't ready. I had no team. I was overwhelmed with work. Like, I couldn't even imagine getting back into school with how busy my life was. So I was like, let's get the office up and running. Let's get everything in place, and then I'll get back into school. Well, that was January, and so I took the spring off, and then the summer came around, and I was like, you know what? I don't have the time. Like, I just can't see myself getting back into the swing of school. And then the fall came around, and I was looking at, like, you know, life and like what I plan to do and where do I see myself and all of this. So anyways, a long story short is 2024, I'm getting back into school, and and it's a 3-year program, and I already done 1 whole year. So I'm like, Morgan, you did 1 whole year of school. There's just 2 years left. Like, just take it like a year at a time. So just 2024, do another year. And then if you have to take a little break for a semester, hopefully not. But like, I also told myself, quit trying to do it all. Because that first year, I went full-time into school. Also full-time running a ministry, full-time running my business. And that was crazy hard. And so I realized I do not have to do full-time. I think I needed to prove to myself that I could. But now I'm like, it's okay to do part-time, girl, because Lord have mercy. I'm even looking back at like, how even did I do that 1 year of full-time? Like, I don't even know how I did it. And I even took a summer class too, I think. I don't know how I did it, but I just know I was super overwhelmed. I was working all the time. And also too, I noticed in that first semester, I wasn't retaining a lot of information because I was rushing through my studies because I still had a lot of work to do. And so I noticed that I would be like, oh my gosh, I've got to read this book. And it'd be a book I'd have to read and have to write a whole report over. And in a bachelor's program, it's a lot of papers. It's a lot of writing. And I would have a whole book I need to read. And I would literally do it the night of. The day of, I would just say, no ministry work today. And I would read the book the whole day and then write the report. And it was not always the best work, but thank God, thank you Jesus, I did the work, but it wasn't always the best. And I noticed towards the end of one of my semesters, like, this is actually a degree you love, like, you're interested in this, and I wish I had more time to give to this. And so going in the future, like going in 2024, the next thing I'm not gonna do so much is I'm not going to overwhelm myself trying to be full-time. I'm going to tell myself, you can take a class here, you can take 2 classes. You can take a class, you can take 2 classes, versus me saying like, oh, I've got to be full-time, because naturally it's unrealistic with my life and with my schedule at this season of my life. Also too, in 2024, and actually I'm doing it right now, I'm getting back to myself. And what I mean by that is this year has been a very hard year for me, my family, my siblings, my mother. Like, this has been a very hard year for us. We've all individually lost some friends. We've all went through a lot of grief this year. We've went through a lot of loss this year. And when I say getting back to myself, is I know for a while there I felt really numb. Grief can make you feel so like in a twilight zone. Like, you're just not yourself. You're numb. You're emotional. You're empty. Whatever. I felt a lot of that this season, this year. It's been a very hard year for me and my family. But I noticed in the last maybe in the last month and a half, I'm finally getting back to myself. I'm getting back to my passion. I'm getting back to working out. I'm getting back to feeling revived in my spirit and actually happy and actually hopeful, more hopeful than I've been in a while. And so this is really good. So if you're someone who's went through grief, or if you're going into 2024 with knowing that some people didn't get to go with you, that you would have loved to go on that journey with you, or, heartbreak, losing people, going through, health crises or whatever, financial crisis, I want to encourage you continue to, even if you're the numb girl for a while, continue to be numb, but continue to go forward. And I think one thing I always would lean on is like, this season has to pass. Like, I don't know why, but like when I was going through my hardest moments, like crying myself to sleep and emotional about just the loss of loved ones, I would have to remember that like this will pass. Like there will be a day when I can smile again, and there will be a day when I can drive down the road listening to music and happy. I might not be at that right now, but that day is coming. And I kept believing that and having faith, and also too just trusting that the Lord would give me like beauty for my ashes, you know, and he wouldn't waste my tears. And so I'm getting 2024, and right now I'm getting back to myself. I'm getting back motivated. I'm getting back on my goals. I'm getting more passionate again. Even Vlogmas has helped with that. Now let me be creative again, not be a perfectionist and not overthink. But also it made me get excited about something that I hadn't been in a while. And so that's been really, really good. I will say going through this last year of a lot of grief and a lot of just struggle, it has taught me to stop wasting my time. Stop wasting my time on the stresses of life, because there's something you can't get back, and that is time. And when a person leaves this earth, all you want with them is more time. And I realized that, and that's been one of the biggest wake-up calls of my life this year, is time is non-refundable. You can't get your time back. And so when people are here on this earth, and when people are here in your life and you have relationships with them, you should cultivate those things, and you should lean into those things. And because that's non-refundable. And there was a quote I came across. It said, "We have two lives. The second one begins when we realize we only have one." And that's really been the quote of my life this year. I felt so free in the beginning of the year. I felt so optimistic. But when I started to encounter a lot of death around me, it made me face the reality that we are only here for a limited time. And we only have the time that God has given us, however long that is, to do what he's put us here to do and to love. And that has been the biggest wake-up call in my life this year. And I know I have not been loving at the capacity that I could love. I know I have not been serving and giving at the true capacity that I could do. And this year, and losing people and going through hardships has opened my eyes that, girl, this is just a vapor. You're here today, gone tomorrow, type of deal. So you better love, you better live, you better go for every dream, you better sow the seed, you better encourage, you better drop the smile, you better do whatever you gotta do while you're here, because it's only for a limited time. Also, another thing I'm doing in 2024 is, and I'm doing it right now, but I'm really gonna go harder in 2024, is taking care of debt, okay? I wanna lower my debt because I really wanna, buy a home and a land in 2024. So I know, and I started doing it at the end of this year, but not as much as I should have. And so this is what I had to realize. I'm like, oh, you can't pay on that debt, but you can go get food all the time. Oh, you can't put $20 or $40 or $100 to that debt, but you can go pick up Mexican every Friday, Morgan. No, like that, no. Pay on your debt. So one thing I'm doing in 2024 is I'm taking charge of my debt. I'm like gonna pay on my debt like crazy. I have some plans on different debt that I'm gonna start tackling right now, but I'm gonna actively, tackle harder in 2024, because I do want to buy either a home or buy some land. And I know that the lower my debt is and the higher my income is, the bigger loan I can get. So my debt to income ratio will be really well. I don't want to have a lot of debt and not a lot of income, or a lot of income and a lot of debt, and it's kind of like, you're not going to get approved for that much. So I know I want to get that down more, as well as improve my credit score, keep working on that to get that even better, so I can get the home loan and I can get, a really good area for me in Monty J. So that's a big goal of mine in 2024. And the last thing about 2024 that I'm doing right now currently is I'm really thinking about my goals. We're getting ready for our vision board party. If you don't know, sign up, girl, okay? But we're getting ready for our vision board party. And so one of the things on the checklist was to make sure you come with a list of your goals already. And so I've been sitting around thinking, like, what are my biggest goals of 2024? What are things that I would love to see accomplished in my life? What are things, like, what's my overall life goal? But what are some things that I can tackle in 2024 and really improve my life for the better? And one thing I know of this is when you are working on your life and you're doing the work God has called you to do, even if it's at a corporate job for a season, if it's in your purpose, whatever, when you're doing that work, your life gets blessed and other people's life gets blessed. So anyways, y'all, I did a lot of little chatting and I just want to have a really quick chit chat with you guys. I hope that this video blesses you and inspires you to make a plan on what you're going to do for 2024. Also, I want to invite you to our vision board party if you have not already signed up for that. The link is in the description box below. And if you're watching this after the fact, go ahead, click that link. We still have a vision board checklist that will help you and get you started. So ladies, thank you for watching this video and I will see you in my next one.